Good afternoon and welcome to the Kazam Stadium for this huge game at the top and bottom of the Championship. It's Oxford United against Sheffield United. The Oxford players have been dragged back into the relegation maelstrom in recent times. Just 2 points now from the bottom three, but they arrive here today hoping to dredge themselves out of trouble. A lot of supporters hoping that they can produce something special against the team that arrived as the leaders of the Championship, but have been knocked off because Burnley have won their game, the 12:30 kickoff. So these players will be hoping to put themselves back on top of the table with a win here this afternoon. They have been in terrific form of late, and last week arguably Chris Wilder's side put in their best performance of the season with that home win against Coventry City at Bramall Lane. But we're at the Kazam Stadium this afternoon. Good afternoon from Guy Havold and welcome to you. Huge game this one for both sides, shaped by early kickoffs today, where Burnley have won their game at Coventry despite trailing by 1-0. So Burnley have gone above Sheffield United to the top of the Championship, but Leeds United have dropped points at Luton. They were also behind. Luton 1, Leeds 1 is a full-time score. What it means is Burnley are top on 84 points, Sheffield United have 83 points, and Leeds have 82. Sheffield United obviously with that game in hand, so a big afternoon for the travelling supporters in that stand on the far side, but also for the home supporters as well, who won here against Watford recently, but there haven't been too many things to shout about in recent times for those fans. They were ahead last week against Middlesbrough, lost that game. They were ahead at Hull as well and lost that game. So confidence a little bit fragile, as you would expect. But the good news today is that Cameron Brannigan, their captain and inspiration in midfield, is back. He has recovered from a knee injury. We are minutes away from kick-off in this crucial Championship fixture between Oxford and Sheffield United. Oxford's form here in front of their own fans has kept them in with a great shout of surviving in this, their first season back in the Championship. But they have got some incredibly difficult games to come here at the Kazam. Leeds and Sunderland on the horizon. And of course today it's Sheffield United, managed by their former boss, Chris Wilder. In many past seasons, Wilder and the Blades would be on the brink of sealing a return to the Premier League, but this has been an astonishing promotion race where even 90+ points might not be enough to go up automatically. The Blades supporters in replica kits, old and new, have seen their side register more points at this stage of the season than in their entire history. They've gone toe-to-toe with Leeds United and Burnley. But 3 into 2 doesn't go, so who will be the unlucky side? Sheffield United determined that it won't be them going into the playoffs. Well, it's a lovely sunny afternoon. A little bit blustery. Both sides will be keen to get on the front foot. A draw won't be good enough for Sheffield United to go back to the top of the table. They have been really efficient against teams in the bottom half this season. Just 6 more games following this one. Just 3 more Saturday fixtures after today. Neither of these teams were in the Championship last season, and they might not be again come August. Sheffield United, asterisks and all, have been leading the race for automatic promotion in recent times, while Oxford have been plummeting towards danger. Knocked off the top today by Burnley, but maybe only for a very brief period of time. Sheffield United, I should say, keen to go back on top of the table. Well, let's look at the two teams, starting with the home side. Really good news for Oxford is the return of their captain, Cameron Brannigan. They'll need him in that midfield battle today. Gary Rowett is without Matt Phillips, who picked up an injury at Middlesbrough last week. His place is taken by the Indonesian international Olo Romani, who scored just once for Oxford since his move in January, but scored twice recently for his country. Oxford have struggled for fullbacks in recent times. They're without Peter Kioso today, but Joe Bennett returns to the bench. Chris Wilder has been so pleased with what he's seen in the last 2 games that he again names an unchanged side. This despite the return from injury of Brazilian Vini Sousa, who is on the bench. So all who started that impressive win at Sheffield Wednesday and the home victory over Coventry begin again today, including Rhian Brewster, who scored in both those games. The captain is back, and how they need him. Without him, they are just not the same side. Their success rate drops dramatically, but Cameron Brannigan has shaken off that knee injury and plays today. Sheffield United with so many attacking players, and that man is their top scorer this season. Tyrese Campbell into double figures. Been rejuvenated this campaign under Chris Wilder at Sheffield United, and we'll be hoping to score again here this afternoon. Well, they've had a lot of narrow victories this season, Sheffield United. And the referee, James Linnington, first time he's taken charge of either of these sides this season. Scott Jackson is our 4th official. Jack Robinson, the captain of Sheffield United, and Brannigan with the armband as well. Well, they go over to their supporters on the far side. You sense this is a huge Saturday afternoon. Last week they were the first to play of the top 3. They played on Friday night. They put down a marker for Leeds and Burnley. This time round, even at 3 o'clock on a Saturday, they're the last to play of the top 3. And they know the consequences of this afternoon's game. Comfortable victory for Sheffield United when these 2 sides met at the start of the season. 3-0, the final score at Bramall Lane. They'll take another 1-0 today, though. Sheffield United get us underway. A huge opportunity for them. Leeds dropping points earlier today. An opportunity for the Blades to open up a 4-point gap to their Yorkshire rivals, who are now in 3rd place. An early bump to the ground for Kieron Brown. Long diagonal, and up he went with Brereton Diaz. Immediately clutching his head. Oxford have had all sorts of problems with injuries to defenders in recent times, particularly in the fullback position. And we've got a balloon on the pitch. Sometimes it's not easy to pop the balloon. Hopefully that won't be a metaphor for Sheffield United's afternoon, and indeed their season, which has been exceptional. But it's Oxford getting on the front foot here. Comes to Brannigan. But he's in the penalty area towards Harris, and through it goes to the goalkeeper, Michael Cooper, who's been such a fantastic signing for Sheffield United this season. Just missed a couple of games, and they were at the start of the season when he was sorting out his move from Plymouth Argyle. Certainly going to be in line, you feel, for Blades Player of the Season. It's just the 2nd league meeting here at the Kazam Stadium since the 1990s. And with Oxford hoping to build a new stadium, it might be the last ever. The possibility that one or maybe even both these clubs will be in different divisions next season. Dembele going into the penalty area. The ball just ran behind for a goal kick. Oxford players half-heartedly asking for a corner. Siriki Dembele it was who scored the winning goal in the last game here against Watford late on. He was about to be taken off. Gary Rowett said, I was thinking of putting the number 23 number up and taking him off, but he kept him on the pitch, helped by the fact that Watford went down to 10 men. Dembele stayed on. It was a winning goal, and it was his first goal as well since he arrived from Birmingham during the summer. Forward it goes, and Harris will chase. And Hutsic sees the ball go out of play for a throw-in. The big centre-half who are speculating about his future. 1 year left on his contract. Chris Wilder says we can't afford to have any player go into the final year of his contract, but I think all that has been put on the back burner when Sheffield United know what division they are in. We're going to see a fair amount of long throws, you feel, this afternoon. Jack Robinson does it for Sheffield United, and Will Vaulks here for Oxford. Into the area it goes, but the referee has seen a bit of pushing there. Well, they have been a threat from set plays, Oxford. Chris Wilder, 5 years with Oxford United. A popular figure for most of his time until maybe he decided to resign and head off to Northampton. Got them out of non-league football in his first full season here at Oxford. It was very much at the beginning of his managerial career. Brown with the throw-in, looking to get some distance, which he does. Nelson over the top, but too much on that for the front players of Oxford today. Mark Harris, who ended his recent drought with a goal against Norwich. Poheta will be hoping to get among the goals again. It's been a long time since he found the back of the net in the early matches for Gary Rowett. And there is what Sheffield United are playing for at the moment. They've been given the point currently, and that's why they are level with Burnley at 0-0. And as we can see, Burnley with that terrific goal difference, courtesy of that extraordinary defence, which at least conceded one goal this afternoon, which is something of a rarity. Oxford looking to build again. Away they go on the far side. Dembele gets into the area. Poheta tries to pick out a teammate. Cleared away by Sheffield United. Good work by Poheta. Dembele will chase. Siriki trying to stop the ball going behind. Referee indicating it's a throw-in to Oxford, who'd be pleased with the way they've started here. Cameron Brannigan doesn't score too many goals. Poheta fed down that right-hand side, able to get his head up. Certainly trying to pick out his captain there. The outside of his boot here. In it comes. Again, it's strong defending by Sheffield United, who know that they will be in a battle here this afternoon when it comes to set plays. Oxford have scored most of their goals in that situation, long throws and corners as well. Miguel Helic has been a key player for them. He's got to get back now because Sheffield United are counter-attacking and the ball is played across into the 6-yard box and behind. He's gone for a corner. Brewster it was, just peeling off his marker. It was just a ball, hoping that maybe Tyrese Campbell would be on the end of it. So first opportunity for Sheffield United's big boys to get forward. Harmer, who scored with a wonderful free kick last week against Coventry, using the swirling wind. Well, the visitors wanted the free kick, and they're not going to get it. Charger it was here who was the man to hit the floor. Romani, who represented the Netherlands up to under-20s, but then decided to change and became an Indonesian international recently. Scored in recent games against Australia and Bahrain. Dembele just feeding it infield, and well, it's a really good start by the home team. Romani it was who was trying to get on the end of that pass from Dembele, whose confidence, I'm sure, has been boosted by finally getting a goal for his club, albeit after a very long wait. Chowdhury, the man in defensive mode on that occasion. Oxford corner, deep. Helik is the target. Three goals for the big centre-half since he signed from Huddersfield back in January. Played a half a season in League One. I'm sure he keeps a keen eye on Huddersfield. They are Dembele. Brewster has got him where he wants him. Dembele tumbles to the ground, and frustration for Brewster, who is in the best form of his time, really, at Sheffield United. It's been difficult, to put it mildly, since he arrived from Liverpool 5 years ago, but a winning goal in the derby against Sheffield Wednesday at Hillsborough, and then following that up with a goal last week against Coventry means that he is a man full of confidence currently. Campbell chases. Helik goes back to his goalkeeper Cumming, who has Nelson for company nearby, but instead goes long, but over the head of the front three. Tom Bradshaw again on the bench today for Oxford. Played under Gary Rowett at Millwall with such good effect. He's been out injured in recent times, so he will be an option from the bench later. Oxford's form at home has been good. It's the reason, really, they are still out of the bottom three. 32 of their 42 points this season have been picked up here. Although this is one of the toughest, if not the toughest game they've had so far this season. They are looking confident. Giving the ball away cheaply there, though. Campbell dispossessed. Cooper under pressure. Firm kick downfield. Onto the head of Nelson. Dembele. Harris in the penalty area. He's got Brown overlapping to his left-hand side. He goes infield. Dembele tries to thread it through. Campbell holds it up for Sheffield United. They want to take a quick free kick. Will Vaux it was who got the ball down really quickly here, the Oxford number 4. Sheffield United have been in such fabulous form of late, defending this free kick. Heta is there, and Dembele has come across as well. Heta goes up to the edge of the penalty area. Helic again is one of those as a possible target for Oxford. Can they win the second ball on the edge of the penalty area? Referee blows his whistle. He's just come across to protect Romani, who went down. Romani suggesting there was an elbow, but the referee waving that away. Let's see it again. Ball bounced really high. And he certainly felt that he got a blow to the face there, but Jack Robinson wasn't impressed. The Sheffield United captain really angry with the reaction of the Oxford player. And then Miguel Helic just defending his man. All got a little bit silly for a couple of seconds. Stakes so high for both these teams. Oxford felt they had moved away from danger. 4 successive home wins in December and January after the arrival of manager Gary Rowett. They looked to be safely ensconced in midfield with a big gap to the bottom 3, but such has been their form, and also the results of teams below them, that gap has been reduced to just 2 points. Vaux. Heta trying to use his pace to get around Harmer. Too many options in the penalty area for Oxford at the moment. Brereton Diaz is the man back defending for Sheffield United, which is an indication of how much the home team have pushed the promotion chasers here this afternoon so far. Neatly worked. Tiervest, it was the fullback who put it across the area. Dembele was there at the back post. Long it goes again. It's going to be an afternoon of heading balls away for Sheffield United defenders, you feel. They are certainly used to mixing it. They can play either way, get the ball down and pass it, or if you want to be involved in a battle, you take on Chris Wilder's team at your peril. No reaction so far for Cameron Brannigan in terms of that knee injury that he sustained that forced him to miss the last game. Vaux again will go and launch it long. We have a bright sun as well, which may play its part in terms of the defenders. Again, it's almost up to the goalkeeper. Dembele with the volley. He opted to side-foot it as opposed to put some real pace on it. Sheffield United trying to launch a counter-attack here. Important head. Sidney Peck. Sheffield United want to take the free kick quickly. They won't be allowed to, though. Sariki was going forward from his fullback position, and Will Vauxhall going across his lane and clearly giving away a free kick. As I said, Sheffield United scored a wonder goal from that man on the left of the picture, Gus Harmer. I think this might be too far out for him, possibly. Yeah, certainly. We're trying to assist something, though, for Sheffield United, who haven't asked too many questions of Jamie Cumming just yet. Instead, it goes out to Brewster down this right-hand side, and then he is clumsy with his attempts at a volley. He's caught Sariki Dembele. Referee again just coming across to diffuse the potential flashpoint. Oxford with just one win since January. Gary Rowett's side winning the last game here against Watford, who were reduced to 10 men. It wasn't a particularly good game, and even the man in the baseball cap admitted they got a bit of a break. They needed it, he felt. They hadn't got reward for previous good performances. They've got themselves into some good positions of late, Oxford. They've scored the first goal in the last 3 matches, but only picked up 3 points in those games. Going forward again. Harris was the target, but too much juice on that one. Sheffield United, not just one of the form teams in the Championship, but Chris Wilder's side are one of the form teams in the whole of the country. Last 10 matches, they've won 8 of them. Last 14 matches, they won 11. Forward it goes. Campbell will chase. Hellick has it under control, it seems. Didn't want to go back to his goalkeeper. So first chance really for Sheffield United to launch it long. Via a throw-in, Jack Robinson in amongst the tarpaulin. Plenty of space to work with, and gets it onto the penalty spot, and well dealt with by Oxford, who get the ball out of the area. Chowdhury running at Dembele. Chowdhury tries to get the ball across, but Dembele stuck to his task. Chowdhury will be delighted to get a vote of confidence from Chris Wilder this afternoon. Vini Sousa is back. The big Brazilian, such a key part of their midfield. But he's only on the bench today. Chowdhury starts once more. Has been his replacement in recent times. Sure, Wilder is looking to the fact that it's a 3-game week ahead for them, with midweek action for both these teams and the possibility of rotating his side. Brewster into the 6-yard box, but away momentarily. Brewster again. Burrows. And again, good save by Cumming. Harrison Burrows, who's already registered more than you'd expect from a fullback this season in terms of goals, was nearly in there once more for a 5th of the season. Harmer with the pass. Long again, onto the penalty spot once more. Away by Oxford. Sariki. Dancing forward and continuing his run. He's the furthest man forward now for Sheffield United, which just shows the way they play. The fact that one fullback nearly scored a few moments ago and the other was there charging it down inside the opposition penalty area. Idatira Vest, who has finally got an opportunity to start matches for Oxford United. This is his 5th successive start. He's had to wait for most of the season. He was signed from Utrecht during the summer. And as I said previously, Oxford having all sorts of problems with fullbacks and injuries in that position. Greg Lee picked up a knee injury in February. He's out at the moment, and Peter Kioso, he returned last week at half-time against Middlesbrough, but is not in the matchday squad today. But Joe Bennett is on the bench, back after a long absence. There is Joe Bennett, number 12. Well, they scored against Middlesbrough in the first half from a not dissimilar situation where the ball bounced about inside the penalty area and Hellick eventually put it into the back of the net. They're making the game ugly at times, Oxford. Reduce what is a massive points gap between these two sides. Making set plays really important, and Cooper came a long way there. Not sure he got anything on the ball, but they will have been practicing a lot of this week, you can be sure, in Sheffield set plays defensively. Sheffield United. Vaux again in the shadows. Cooper comes and claims this one. And it's a big decision, isn't it, from the goalkeeper, whether he comes or whether he goes, particularly with so many bodies around him in modern day football. But Michael Cooper is one of the best in the business in the Championship. Conceded just 23 goals in his 37 matches so far for Sheffield United in the Championship. As his side go forward once more, but that was a disappointing end to a promising move. Tyrese Campbell been in good form of late. Scored one of the goals last week in that win against Coventry City. It was a Friday night game. Harmer, Campbell and Brewster, the scorers. The only frustration really for the Sheffield United point of view is that they didn't rack up yet another clean sheet, conceding late on. A goal that Michael Cooper, the Sheffield United goalkeeper, and his defenders protested long and hard at the full-time whistle, believing it should have been ruled out. Here's a look at the bottom of the table. Oxford still 2 points off the relegation places, with a slightly better goal difference at the moment than Cardiff. But it's just too tight to call, isn't it? Luton getting a point against Leeds that they'll be pretty pleased with, I would imagine. They've certainly shown that they are in for the long fight to the final Saturday of the season. Derby County have got themselves out of the bottom three. It's just Plymouth who are struggling to put some sort of run together that might really give hope to their supporters that they can survive for another season in the Championship. Oxford have waited so long to get back to this level of football. They will not want to give it away cheaply. They've fought hard in so many games this season. Dembele, Romani, Poeta in the penalty area, and behind he goes for a corner. Gary Rout was talking about Oxford not taking their chances last week against Middlesbrough. Yes, they were 1-0 up at half-time, but they missed some really good chances, better than the ones they've had today. They might have been 2-0 up, but he will feel that in this opening 27 minutes, they have got the ball into the area plenty of times. Can they make it pay? In it goes. Hellick again is the target. And it's back towards goal, very adroitly by Will Vauxhall. Just twisting and turning his body. Just the one goal for him so far this season. Quite a goal it was as well, almost as spectacular as that one would have been. It was against Plymouth Argyle back in January. It was that good, he got nominated for the goal of the month. Cooper. Robinson. Chowdhury. Versatile player. Hamza Chowdhury, who can play a number of different positions, but it's centre of midfield for him. Helping start this attack. And it was with the ball forward, looking for Burrows. Oh, so much quality on that Sheffield United left-hand side. Harrison Burrows with his excellent left foot. Gus Harmer, another player who can play in a lot of different positions, playing out on the left-hand side for the time being. Burrows to deliver it. It's a little bit flat. Campbell unable to help it towards the 6-yard box, but he's got possession of it. Chowdhury with the ball in. Hellick away. Burrows once more. Brereton Diaz just bides his time, waits for something to open up, and it does in the shape of Campbell. What a save by Cumming. Well, they were so patient there, Sheffield United. Campbell, good first touch, using his body, and then he must have felt that was 1-0 when it left his boot. But it was the boot of Cumming that denied him. As close as we've come in the 30 minutes that we've played so far. Sheffield United again tease it short. Well, he's played every minute this season for Oxford United, Jamie Cumming. And he's been one of their most consistent performers. And he's kept his team level with that fantastic reflex save. There was only a few yards between these two protagonists on that occasion, but he managed to react quickly enough. Got a bit of good fortune that it went off his boot and behind for a corner. It could have gone into the back of the net, but the Oxford defence survives for the time being. They go on the front foot. Brewster up to Campbell. Harmer. This is Burrows. This is really good play by Sheffield United, but unable to keep possession inside the penalty area. Femi Sariki again drifting in from his full-back position to create problems at the heart of the Oxford defence. Kieron Brown gonna have to keep an eye on Sariki. is an astonishing championship promotion race. 3 sides already into 80+ points at the start of the day, and there's still 7 games to go. 2 of those teams playing today. Burnley winning and going top. Leeds just collecting the 1 point. Chowdhury. He's trying to keep it in and failing. United have never beaten Sheffield United at the Kazam Stadium. Admittedly, they haven't played a lot. It's just the 2nd league meeting here since the 1990s. That win was way back in 1996. And it wasn't here, it was at the Manor Ground. Martin Aldridge, the 2nd most famous Aldridge to play for Oxford United, bagging a hat-trick that day. Far can Volks get this one again? It's a prodigious throw. It is a blustery afternoon, and he does look like he's got a bit of wind behind him, but even so, his arms are going to be exhausted at the full-time whistle. Robinson is down. He's just winded currently. Him and Hellick going head-to-head again in that penalty area. Managers will tell you it's often just fine margins, and it might just be a header won and a header lost here from a set play that gives us our first goal. In it goes once more and decisively away. Possible counter-attack. Campbell. Harmer. Brereton Diaz unable to get the ball under control. Bit of pushing and shoving there between Brown and Peck. Well, Peck was certainly making sure that Brown wasn't going to get past him, and then a bit of a shirt pull there, and the 4th official, Scott Jackson, just intervened. Harmer. This is Peck. Brereton Diaz with the flick. Campbell. Harmer sliding it through, looking for Campbell. Well, I'd be happy with the way they have dealt with the set plays so far. They come through those opening few minutes, but he will want his side to get on the ball a little bit more now and create some opportunities. There's so many good attacking players out on the pitch, and so many on the bench as well. Just a reminder that Callum O'Hare again starts from the subs bench. Tom Cannon and Kiefer Moore as well. They have plenty of options if those on the pitch don't do it. They've won a lot of throw-ins today, haven't they, Oxford, in the final third of the pitch. And again, Hellick will be the target. Long it goes towards him, but doesn't reach him. And it might break here for Dembele! And it was from a throw-in that Oxford take the lead. He's waited so long for his first goal. It came in the last home match, and now he's scored again. Sariki Dembele. And the team fighting for their lives are ahead against the team who are hoping to go back top of the championship. The Wilcox won't get an assist for this, but he, again at the heart of it, they won that header and it broke. Nelson got something on it, and Dembele, who not going to get involved in too many heading contests inside the penalty area, just waited for the ball to drop. Lovely first touch, and then he didn't rush the opportunity. He stroked it into the back of the net. And who saw this coming? Oxford 1, Sheffield United 0. Well, they're singing their songs, the home supporters, but they won't be getting overexcited just yet in light of what has happened all too often this season, where they've been unable to hang on to leads. And they will now just want to get through the remaining 6 minutes to half-time, because this will be a big boost for them if they can go into the break with this advantage. That's looking better, isn't it? A 4-point gap for Oxford now. And I think that's going to change quite a few times, maybe even before half-time, never mind the full-time whistle. And let's not forget, we've got 6 more matches after this one. Huge games for both these sides in midweek as well, particularly for Oxford, who play against Queen's Park Rangers on Wednesday night. Another side who still haven't got enough points to be sure of championship football next season. Harris trying to use his body here. Wanted the free kick. There's Hellick. Can they get a second goal before half-time? In it goes, another bomb of a ball into the penalty area. Brereton Diaz looked like he was caught there, but the referee allows play to go on, and Cooper bowls it out. They've just had the one opportunity, Sheffield United. It's been a game of not too many clear-cut opportunities. But that save from Jamie Cumming to deny Campbell was the big moment outside of that Dembele goal. Oxford happy to just sit in. All the pressure now on Sheffield United. Harmer. Sariki. Brown does well. Brown again, not in his natural position here this afternoon, playing as the fullback. There's another opportunity possibly for Poeta. The ball just didn't sit. He was desperate to wrap his boot around it. He just seemed to be suspended momentarily in front of his face. And Sheffield United able to get the ball clear. And Chris Wilder down there don't need to be too happy with the way things are going currently. They were terrific in their last game against Coventry on Friday night. 2-0 up at half-time, played some of their best football of the season. But it's been a little bit scruffy so far this afternoon from the Blades. Campbell lays it off, and the shot will come in from Brewster. And across it is in towards Campbell, and behind for another corner. Helik, having spent so much of the time in the opposite half trying to cause some mischief, is now hoping to just get the ball away from danger here. Burrows to take it. Peck arriving, but Helik it was who won the header. Harmer. And it's a clever turn by Peck. Cumming puts it behind for a corner. On target or not, he wasn't going to take any chances. Peck just swivelling away from Brown. Harmer drifting out to this near side, and again just cleverly finding a teammate into the final minute of this first half. And keeper struggling. Cumming seemed to lose it completely. The ball just bounced in front of him, and Oxford catch a break there, clear it up to halfway. Burrows. We'll find out how much stoppage time we've got in a moment. Too many stoppages in this first half, and that's the reason we only have 60 seconds. Well, there'll be a lot of Leeds supporters heading back from Luton today, still on the M1 with their radios on. A little downbeat after they could only draw today against the team in the bottom three, but this scoreline will certainly perk them up. With the header. Poeta unable to when it wants a handball. Ref says play on. Burrows does just that. Final few seconds of this first half. Well, it's probably more than they could have hoped for. The Oxford supporters who came here against the side hoping to go back to the top of the table, but Oxford have been terrific in the first 45. Shariki Dembele, their goal scorer. Jamie Cumming making a fantastic save from Campbell. They've got a lot of work to do in the second half, but they've given themselves a real opportunity here, Oxford. Both teams out on the pitch again. Welcome back. Siriki Dembele, the man who has scored the only goal of the game so far. And you sense there's more action in the second half. Blade's last trip here was in League One. Billy Sharp was among their goal scorers. He scored his 25th and 26th of the season. That was back in March. 8 years on, Sheffield United's top scorer only has 10 goals so far, Tyrese Campbell. But that doesn't really matter who scores them or the weight of goals per player. What is key is that Sheffield United have the opportunity here to go back to the top of the table. But they must find 2 goals at least in this second half. Oxford to get us underway in this second half. Have a lot of positivity, I'm sure, from Gary Rowett, who's that type of head coach. But in the back of his and the players' mind will be what has happened all too often this season, the fact that they've conceded so many equalisers and lost games as well from winning positions. 26 points they have dropped from winning positions so far this season, but if they were to get over the line here this afternoon, it would be a seismic result for them and indeed for the Championship at the top of the table. It won't be long, you feel, before we see that strong Sheffield United bench warming up and stripping off and getting ready to come on and alter the course of the game if those on the pitch are unable to do it themselves. And it's a stick or twist option, isn't it, for a team leading? And they haven't won many games in recent times, but Oxford, I'm sure Gary Rowett said to them, you've got to go out and remain on the front foot. They can bag a second. Fuchs with the throw. Straight through to Cooper, who punches awkwardly, and the shot will come in from Poheta. Well, he made a bit of a mess of that. I'm not saying it was a clear-cut opportunity, but Cooper was struggling here. And if Poheta had just managed to get that on target, well, Cooper got up quickly, hadn't he, to be fair? It was a pretty horrid effort. Poheta's last goals came pretty close to each other back in December. That was right at the start of Gary Rowett's reign. He came in just before Christmas. What an impact he made. Unbeaten in his first 9 matches as head coach of Oxford, and they moved away from danger. 10 points clear of it they were for a time. But ahead of this game, it's now just 1 win in 11. That's why this lead is both precious and precarious. Forward it goes, looking for Campbell. Had the best opportunity for Sheffield United in that first half. Dembele eases it forward, looking for Harris. Siriki wins the corner. And their supporters are at that end of the ground. Over on the far side. Siriki's going to leave it for Burrows. Burrows with the delivery, and it's gone behind. And I mentioned the wind. The referee not happy with something here. We're going to have a retake. Campbell is getting as close as he possibly can to coming. Burrows again. High up into the air it goes, and it bobbles about in the 6-yard box and hooked away. Well, the wind does seem to be drifting towards that end of the pitch, and I wonder if we're going to see a load of throw-ins in this half of the pitch and of the game as well. Sidney Peck it was who caused problems, and once more there's work for Oxford to do. Robinson wins the header. Chowdhury. Being protected by one of his own players there. Thought about coming, but it was Peck who won the header. Just no pattern to those types of moments, is there? It can break anywhere. And Burrows puts it across, and behind it goes. Good defending by Brown. Well, no great surprise that they've flown out of the blocks, Sheffield United. Ball bobbling awkwardly into that 6-yard box, and in it goes again. Sheffield United trying to recreate something here with Peck, whose shot takes a deflection. In it goes again. The two Oxford players missed the header. This is Harmer. Brewster puts the ball in. Sariki doesn't want to lose it there. Possible counter-attack here for Oxford, trying to get bodies forward. Dembele in support. Puaheta goes through the centre. Fair play to Sariki, who lost the ball high up the pitch. He chased back. Romney had taken the ball out of play here, but once more, anything can happen really with these throw-ins. It's an open end of the stadium, as you know, and I don't think that helps in terms of the wind and the swirl and the bouncing ball. It'll be a long afternoon for those Oxford defenders at that end of the ground. As they go forward again, Campbell through the centre, bounces into Cumming. Ends with a little hand tap. Well, Cumming might just be the key player this afternoon for Oxford if they are to hang on to this lead. Not just the saves, it's the anticipation, it's the taking of the crosses, it's deciding when to come and when not to come. Through to Harmer. Peck. He ran into the fullback, Tirivest. Another set play for Sheffield United. Peck running. Maybe there was an arm there, to be fair to the referee. Yellow card for the Dutchman. Well, you wouldn't be surprised if there's another goal from a set play. In it goes, and Oxford have got some defending to do here. They've not got it away. Chowdhury with the effort. Blocked by Hellick, I think it was. Dembele tries to counter-attack for Oxford. Good feet. Puaheta. A lot of opposition shirts around him. Burrows. Brereton Diaz. Had a quiet first 45 and he's given the ball away cheaply there, but wins it back. Chowdhury. Burrows, a give and go from him. Harmer unable to find him. Chowdhury comes across. Time for Harmer. Sariki is the option. It's pretty even, Stephen, isn't it, in terms of shots and shots on target. Sheffield United dominating possession again in this second half, probably even more so. Burrows with the ball in. And Nelson, who's on loan from Leicester City, who themselves have their own relegation issues, could be heading back to the Championship. Well, Sheffield United came here full of confidence, particularly on the road. They're actually looking for their 7th successive victory away from Bramall Lane. They won't panic yet. A lot of bodies going forward here, but Sariki's got to try and make something of it, and he can't. These supporters have come here the last couple of decades, but it may be they have just one more season here at the Kazam Stadium. They are hoping to build a new stadium. They put in planning permission, and their chief executive Tim Williams was saying this week, we desperately need that new stadium. We need to own it and control it. They don't do that with the Kazam. We need a hotel and facilities. And he cited Blackpool, who are in League One, who own their stadium and have a higher turnover, nearly 50% more, in fact, turnover than Oxford, who did actually announce a big turnover, a record turnover, in fact, of £8.5 million. In the last calendar year. Just saw Matt Phillips behind there with the beard, injured today. Got taken off at half-time against Middlesbrough due to picking up a knock. He was actually playing wing-back. Oxford playing with 3 centre-halves up at Middlesbrough. Gary Rowett has had to shuffle it in recent times due to the injuries that he's had, the disappointing results. Won't really make too many changes, I don't think, to the way the game is going so far. As we head towards the hour mark, another important landmark for Oxford to get to. You feel it won't be too long before Chris Wilder starts throwing the dice in terms of substitutes. Sariki. Hellick with the header. He's trying, you could see, to put it out for a throw-in. Brown enabled him to be pleased it's only a throw-in. So we do have a change, and Vinny Souza is coming on. He's missed the last 3, but he's been training all week, and the Brazilian, such a big player for them, comes in for Hamza Chowdhury. No great surprise there. And Jezarum Raksaki is another introduction for Chris Wilder before the hour mark. And he had a little look, didn't he? Not totally pleased with what he's seen, and so 2 fresh bodies out there, full of quality, Raksaki on loan from Crystal Palace. Sheffield United corner. Two subs hoping to get involved. Back in it goes. Pusheta trying to get something. It's broken for him nicely. Pusheta, well, he got away. He's got a free kick. I don't think he's get anything more than that. There will be a yellow card, but I'm not so sure. I think they want a red card, but Mahucic, I think, had players behind him. Just for a moment, Pusheta looked like he was up against the last man, but then he came in field. And that certainly wasn't a clear and obvious goal-scoring opportunity, despite the protests of the Oxford man. Gives Oxford a bit of respite, though. An opportunity for their defenders to just take stock. Just confirmation of that other substitution, Brereton Diaz, the man going off for Raksaki. Sariki. Raksaki will chase that. Not too much on it. Well, they've been so good, haven't they, Sheffield United, in recent times. I suppose it's inevitable that they're going to put in a performance that their fans will believe is a little bit substandard. 11 wins in their last 14. Their last defeat was back in February to Leeds United, and that was a game that Chris Wilder's side were ahead for quite some time, and going to the last 20 minutes felt they could win it. They ended up losing 3-1. They haven't lost on the road since New Year's Day, and that was at Sunderland. But these are the afternoons, the scruffy afternoons, when you're not flowing, not playing well, and you just have to grind something out. Maybe a point will be a great result for Sheffield United, who knows? Maybe they can turn it around and go back to the top of the table. But at the moment, Oxford are liking the look of the bottom, looking to extend the advantage that they had at start of play, which was just 2 points to the bottom three. Raksaki goes down. The assistant referee makes a decision for the ref. Well, you just feel through pure weight of balls into the penalty area from corners, free kicks and throw-ins, then something is going to break for Sheffield United. See, the wind is getting up a little bit in Oxfordshire. The coach is behind the goal that will take the Blade supporters back north to Sheffield. What will the mood be like this evening? It's taken short, straight into the wall, and the referee seeing something he doesn't like here. Well, Cameron Brannigan, the captain of Oxford, is questioning. Looks like he's going to make the free kick be taken again. It was Robinson who went to ground. I can only assume the referee must have blown his whistle before the free kick was taken. Straight for goal this time it goes. Peck wins the header. Oxford try and get it clear, but it's So many bodies behind the ball at the moment. Heta will run and chase, but he knows he was always second best. It's flicked on. Opportunity here for Sheffield United. What a tackle from Brown. Absolutely brilliant. On the big centre-half, he's playing as a full-back this afternoon, and what a moment that was to stop the run of Burrows, who was looking to pull it across for Brewster, who's in the 6-yard box. Well, they may have struggled for goals at times this season, but Oxford do have some terrific defenders. So far, so good for them that they've got to hold tight again. Dembele surrounded by Sheffield United shirts, and no great surprise that the ball goes out for a throw-in to the visitors. Well, it just feels one-way traffic at the moment. And I wonder if Gary Rowett is thinking about possibly taking one of his forwards off and stiffening up the midfield. You just sense it's all Sheffield United, just edging ahead in terms of shots. And I have to say, they haven't created too many clear-cut opportunities today.
City Peck.
Those possession statistics will probably continue to go higher and higher for Sheffield United, but they will be almost totally irrelevant if they don't get a goal. Raksaki sat on the bench in recent games, no doubt frustrated, keen to prove a point. No minutes at all in the last couple. And an opportunity here. Well, he was stretching. There was some sort of contact on it, but it was straight at the goalkeeper, Tyrese Campbell. It was for Sheffield United. Just got away from him, didn't it? He needed the sweetest of contacts to beat coming. It's a lovely moment today for his dad, who so sadly passed away. It was Arsenal going to face Everton at Goodison Park, and after 9 minutes they all stood and applauded for Kevin Campbell. I'm sure he will have heard about that prior to kick-off when he was preparing for this game, or will do afterwards. So changes for Oxford, and Romani is coming off, and it is a forward who comes off, I should say, for a more defensive option in Alex Matos, on loan from Chelsea. Played the full 90 minutes at Middlesbrough at the weekend. And Kiefer Moore is on. Campbell's touch just a few moments ago was his last of the game, and well, Sheffield United will hope that they have more chances than the one that he saw saved in the first half. That really the clear-cut opportunity for the Blades. Gary Rowett somehow managing to sit still on the bench. He's pretty fidgety, chatting away. He knows this is a huge afternoon. He was fighting a relegation battle 12 months ago with Birmingham City in the Championship, and he filled in for Tony Mowbray, who was absent due to illness. Birmingham were relegated, but it seems flying through the League One table this time out, and will surely be back in the Championship next season. Play on, says the referee, and Sheffield United do that. The shot is wide of the target. Brewster in good form of late. Been the best of the three that he scored in the last trio of matches. There was a tap-in at Hillsborough as he wrote himself into Steel City derby history. Not many people remember that effort, though. So Big Kiefer Moore is on, Raksaki is on, Sousa is on. Will there be any change? Moore wins it. He now wants to get ahead of the ball. Harmer maybe be pushed infield a little bit more to try and create things for Sheffield United. And it's not often they don't score in matches. They have a terrific record this season. Peck going for goal! Well, it wasn't too far wide. Well, City Peck still waiting for his first Sheffield United goal, and what a moment that would have been. The former Arsenal youngster taking it on. Cumming will say publicly, I'm sure, that he had it covered. Peck would have loved to have asked the question. "20 minutes to go in this huge game at the top and bottom of the Championship. Sheffield United showing signs of frustration. Jack Robinson with his arm all over Mark Harris. They're not rushing this one. They won't rush any of them while it's still their game to lose. Poeta goes to the edge of the penalty area. Dembele not the best of delivery. Well, he was really determined to win the header there, sensing that he had messed it up with the corner, the free kick, I should say. Well, it is the Championship, isn't it, that you can go from such a high as Sheffield United were last week with that wonderful win on Friday night against Coventry, who themselves were in such fantastic form, but they blew them away. Some of the best football that we've seen from the Blades this season. And then suddenly here at the Kazam Stadium, they have struggled to find their rhythm. Peck had a look, but there's no one around him. Oxford happy to just sit behind the ball in these positions. No great surprise that the Sheffield United penalty area hasn't been too busy in this second half. Just the odd set play. Harmer. Feeling is he's more effective in central areas, and there he is again, Moore. Brown wins it. Poeta for Oxford, head down, over halfway. Still going, Poeta. Robinson brings it clear. I wonder how much longer Poeta can go on those runs. Pretty isolated up front. Stan Mills, one of the options from the bench. Ruben Rodriguez, Tyler Goodrum. Poeta. Looks exhausted, doesn't he? And he'll be digging deep if he is needed for the full 90 minutes. Yellow card for Heta. Helik wins the header. How many times we've said that this afternoon. What a big signing he has been for Oxford in the January window. Well, there we are. Sheffield United at the moment are not going top. If it stays as it is, Leeds United will actually make a point on Sheffield United today. Burnley will be the out-and-out winners of this Saturday afternoon. Robinson with the delivery. Sousa gives away the free kick. Well, no great surprise that there is going to be more change for Sheffield United. Looks like Tom Cannon, 28, is coming on. Another striker. Gus Harmer is getting instructions from Alan Neil, the assistant manager. I would imagine that will be we want you through the middle, high up, edge of the penalty area, threading some balls through. Callum O'Hare is coming on as well. Wow, they're going to have so many forward players now, because Sidney Peck is one of those to depart, the midfielder. And they are going to go down swinging here, Sheffield United. Well, Brewster at least is a forward who comes off, but two have come on. Callum O'Hare will be frustrated that he's been on the bench in recent games. Actually scored a goal against Oxford when these two sides met earlier in the season. How comfortable that afternoon was for Sheffield United, a 3-0 win. How different it has been today in the sunshine as Moore goes for the ball, but that was wonderfully judged by Jamie Cumming. Well, just for a moment, one or two Oxford supporters will have been really worried. But Cumming has been pitch perfect so far. Brown brings it clear for Oxford. Just into the channels, really, that's all he can do. Harris will chase and try and make something of it. Brown again, up for the header. Loses the flight of the ball somewhat. Raksaki. I was just trying to put the ball into the penalty area, really. Sousa it was with the pass, but he was stretching Harrison Burrows. And they haven't tasted too many defeats this season, certainly not recently. Only lost 6 games all season. It's the fact that they haven't scored so far in, what, 78 minutes of play, which is something of a surprise. Only 5 times in 10 months of Championship football have Sheffield United failed to find the back of the net, which is some record. Anxiety from the home supporters. Vaux's arms have been rested in the last 10 or 15 minutes, unlike the first half when he was like a windmill. In it goes, away by Robinson. Vaux with the ball in. Helik unable to control that head up. Scored in the last 2 away games, Mikael Helik. At Middlesbrough and Hull. Both those games they've lost. But the positive sign of leading is that the last game here against Watford, albeit a late goal against 10 men, they did manage to hang on. And we are heading into the final stages of this game. There'll be more changes. There will be a fair amount of stoppage time as well. Oxford have defended so well. They come again. Dembele groaned from the supporters when he started to go backwards and sideways. Matos picks it up. Dembele again. 3 edge of the penalty area, including Proheta, who completely misses his kick. And it nearly turned out as a pass for Matos, who was caught on his heels. Very few times in the second half, outside of set plays, have we seen 3, even 4 yellow shirts in and around the penalty area. Matos driving forward, but that is the end for Siriki Dembele. He may be the match winner again for the second home game running. And Proheta, they could do with the golf buggy to get him off. And run himself into the ground. Joe Bennett comes on, and Tyler Goodrum. Joe Bennett, just to remind you, has been out injured in recent times, but Gary Rowett was talking positively this week about how he has just managed to get a fair amount of action on the training ground this week. Got his fitness back, and well, he only got to get through 10 minutes. But it's a big 10 minutes for Oxford United Football Club. This could be the afternoon they look back on as the afternoon they took one giant step to safety. Sheffield United win it back. Forward they go. Helik is there. Who else? What a game he's had today. Moore just trying to feed it on, looking for Harrison Burrows. Into the air it goes. Plenty of height in that penalty area. Back it will come. Siriki still going. Can he dig out a cross? Well, he could, but it took a deflection on the way. Took the pace off it. Cumming falls on the ball. More time evaporates. 8 minutes to go. Well, Chris Wilder had 5 largely successful and happy years here at the Kazam Stadium with Oxford United. He managed them against Sheffield United in a couple of FA Cup games. But this might just be his most depressing 90 minutes, if indeed his side lose here today. They still will be in the automatic promotion places. They will still have it in their hands. But a golden opportunity is slipping through their fingers. Still time. Not with passes like that, though. So as we stand at the moment, Burnley 84 points, Sheffield United 83 points, Leeds 82. Extraordinary. With 6 games to go after today. And one of the kickers in that is that Sheffield United, on Easter Monday, go to face Burnley. So there are still so many twists and turns, you feel, in this extraordinary title race and promotion race. But one of those 3 teams with 80 plus and most likely 90+ points will be going into the playoffs. To face a team possibly like Bristol City or Middlesbrough, who currently have just 60 points. Such are the playoffs. Well, they're still struggling to carve out good opportunities, Sheffield United, for all their possession, for all their balls into the penalty area. There's been very little fluency, very little cutting edge. And Oxford have done well in making this a messy game at times. A messy game, but a possibly beautiful scoreline for the home team. Well, it was from throw-ins such as this that Oxford caused problems. Robinson in the second half throws it in. Robinson has continued his run. He just heads it back in, but Brannigan gets it away for Oxford. Well, the home fans are doing their best. Kiefer Moore with the header. Sariki. Sariki again. Moore and Cannon are in there. It's towards Moore at the back post, but there was just too much on it. Early tumble, but he's never going to get anything from the referee. Callum O'Hare it was, just letting the ball run across his body. You can see what he's trying to do, but unable to execute it. Running down the clock still further. Oxford United. Mark Harris hasn't had too many touches today, the number 9. He's been used to it at times, particularly away from home, where he's had to run the channels and just try and occupy the centre halves. He's done a brilliant job today. He's been replaced by Tom Bradshaw, who's suffered a lot with injuries since he arrived in January from Millwall. It's a like-for-like replacement there. And Cameron Brannigan, who was a big doubt for this game, the captain, has managed to get through more than 85 minutes. El Mazouni is the man who replaces him. And Gary Rowett will just keep his fingers crossed that his final ability to change a game with substitutions works out okay. Sariki going forward. Blade shirts ahead of him, but he runs into trouble. Inevitably, it breaks for a Sheffield United player. Raksaki with the shot. Again, it's long, upfield, as far as they can get, and it's worked out really well. Actually managed to find Bradshaw, who then exchanges passes, and it's played in. Opportunity here, if they work it well, but they didn't. Well, that could have been 2-0. 2 minutes to go. Now they've sent too many bodies forward. Raksaki for Sheffield United, looking to get it onto the left foot. O'Hare hurriedly away, sliced away. Did it go for a throw-in or a corner? Well, I think it's Cramp. No great surprise. Well, here was the opportunity. Bradshaw it was who was involved. And there was just a little look up. Into the area it went. Mazouni it was whose layoff was poor. And Callum O'Hare at the other end just running into trouble. They need Ben Nelson, the big centre half. Another corner goes in, it's caught on the wind, and behind it goes. Real frustration from one or two Sheffield United players. Well, it's a measure of this ground, how different it is to so many. You so rarely see that now, where a corner goes straight out of play, but it was caught on the wind. Now that end without a stand. But in the stands, the home supporters sensing this is a huge afternoon for them. They can't have arrived with too much confidence. Recent form have been poor, just one win in their last 11. 6 points only out of a possible 33, up against a team who had won 11 of the last 14. But such is the chaos and beauty of football sometimes. But they're not there yet. Home fans not happy with the amount of stoppage time as Robinson launches it onto the penalty spot again. It's flicked on. Will it break? Oh, Oxford get it clear. In the first of the 6 minutes of stoppage time. Sheffield United were so close. Much like Oxford's goal, it was a scramble, it was a mess. Would it break? For a Sheffield United player, it wouldn't. In again it goes, and the keeper comes and claims. Brilliant from Cumming. Absolutely fantastic at this moment of the game. At this moment of the season, with the wind swirling at that end of the pitch, brave enough to come and claim it. Well, not since they won at Wembley to get promoted to the Championship back in May will the supporters have had such an afternoon, such an important afternoon. Sariki. Well, Chris Wilder has put on so many of the talented forwards that he has on the pitch from the bench, but it hasn't made a lot of difference. The rhythm of the game is very familiar, as it has been for much of it. A lot of possession for Sheffield United. The only time either side looks dangerous is when the ball bounces in the area from a set play often. 2 minutes gone. Sheffield United will bite your hand off now for a point. Moore knocks it down. Chance for a shot here. It's blocked. Sariki tries to play it in. Blocked once more. Well, this will be the clean sheet of the season for Oxford United if they can see it through. Absolutely brilliant so far. Robinson to launch. Flatter, but still causing problems inside. It breaks for the goalkeeper. Raksaki is the man who looks disappointed, who slowly gets himself to his feet. Body language which will be mirrored by teammate Sheffield in a few minutes' time, unless they can find a goal at that end of the pitch. Moore will try and stop it going out of play, but he can't. Only 40 points separated these two teams at start of play. It has been a pretty even contest for most of the afternoon. Frustration from Robinson that will give him a yellow card as he walks away from the referee, but more importantly, he's gifted Oxford 30 seconds to run down the clock and some. Well, they've been terrific in 2025 so far, Sheffield United, bar one game against Hull City at Bramall Lane. That was a real outlier. They were beaten 3-0 on that occasion. Goodrum, well, he thought about shooting and then realised the situation. And think about the corner flag here. He will. No great surprise, and he'll tumble. He'll hope to get a free kick. What a contact from Kiefer Moore, if any. Just over a minute. Sheffield United have got to get it forward. All around the country, Burnley supporters, Leeds supporters, even Sunderland maybe, will be listening, hoping that Oxford can hang on. Long it goes. Kiefer Moore is an aerial threat, so too is Tom Cannon. But at the moment, Oxford have the ball, but they've lost it. Harmer. Burrows, heavy touch, and it goes out, and they greet it like the full-time whistle and the winning goal. And the certainty of promotion survival, which is a few weeks away, but look at those smiling faces. Well, they've been slip-sliding down the table in recent weeks. Well, they are about to take positive action here. The 6 minutes has been played. It's another yellow card. Well, they're nearly there. Brooks will get it as long as he can. The full-time whistle goes, and the championship has been turned upside down. Chris Wilder, who knew a win would put his team back on top, had been beaten by the side, had been sliding down the table, and were fearing real relegation issues. But Dembele's goal in the first half gave them a lead that they have hung on to. An afternoon where the top three have won in Burnley, drawn with Leeds and lost with Sheffield United here at the Kazam Stadium. A real upset, a real surprise. But should we be surprised? This is the championship. Dembele, the match winner for the second successive game at home. And he's given Oxford real belief that they can have a second successive season in the championship after working so hard to get into the second tier of English football. Full-time score, Oxford 1, Sheffield United 0.